Former President Goodluck Ebele Jonathan, who is considering joining the All Progressive Congress APC to run for president, is set to face a legal battle in the coming days. The Punch has learnt. This is just as the Vice Chairman and Director of Public Affairs, Igbo Leadership Development Foundation, Dr. Law Mefo, says his group will be going to court to challenge Jonathan should he declare his intentions to contest. Mefo stated this as the People's Democratic Party members in the House of Representatives warned the ex-president against accepting offers of the APC, and the president, Major General Muhammadu Buhari, retired, explaining the stand of the ILDF. Mefo, who believes that the next president should be from the Southeast region, argued that Jonathan had been affected by the constitutional amendment and thus had no right to contest. He said, I've said it before and I'm saying it again. We'll go to court to challenge it if Jonathan joins the presidential race. What my group, Igbo Leadership Development Foundation, would test in court is whether Jonathan can be sworn in as president of Nigeria a third time despite the express constitutional provision against it. We're just waiting for Jonathan to pick up a political party's nomination form, and the Igbo Leadership Development Foundation will approach a court of competent jurisdiction to challenge his qualification to stand this election. I have nothing personal against Jonathan. After all, I was in his media team in 2015, but we have to do things right as a nation under the law and not as a nation of impunity. Jonathan had, while addressing supporters last week, informed them that he was still consulting on whether to contest and asked them to watch out. Sources also told the Punch that Jonathan had given the APC the condition that he would only join the party if the president, Major General Muhammadu Buhari, retired, endorsed him, and he was picked as a consensus candidate. In a chat with the Punch, a human rights lawyer, Mr. Femi Falana, said any party that picked Jonathan as its candidate risks being disqualified. When asked what should happen if Jonathan emerged candidate, Falana stated, of course, their opponents will go to court to challenge the legal validity of his election. It will be too much of a risk without having a definite pronouncement on this matter. The senior advocate maintained that Jonathan, having been inaugurated as president twice, could not be sworn in the third time. Falana also noted that Section 137 of 3 of the Constitution, which was amended in 2018, states that a person who was sworn in to complete the term for which another person was elected as president shall not be elected to such office for more than a single term. He argued that since Jonathan became president following the death of President Umaru Yar'Adua, he would not be able to serve 2 more full terms. The senior advocate said it would be very risky for any political party to pick Jonathan as a candidate, as his candidacy could be annulled by a court. A statement he later issued read in part, it has been confirmed that former President Goodluck Ebele Jonathan has decided to join the APC for the purpose of contesting the 2023 presidential election. However, the former president is disqualified from contesting of the election by virtue of 137, 3 of the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, 1999. Some people have said that the amendment is not retrospective and therefore cannot apply to Dr. Jonathan, assuming without conceding that the amendment is not retrospective. It is submitted that under the current constitution, a president or governor cannot spend more than 2 terms of 8 years. In other words, the constitution will not allow anyone to be in office for more than a cumulative period of 8 years. In Mawa versus Yanko, 2012, 6 NWLR Part 1296, 199 at 387, the Supreme Court stated that Section 180 of 1 and 2A of the 1999 Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria has prescribed a single term of 4 years, and if a second term, another period of 4 years, and not a day longer. He noted that in the case of Governor Rashid Ladoja versus INEC, the Supreme Court rejected the prayer of Ladoja for 11 months extension to cover the period he was kept out of office through an illegal impeachment. Falana added that the Supreme Court rejected the prayer on the grounds that a governor was entitled to spend a minimum period of 8 years or less and not more than 8 years. Supporting Falana's position, the Human Rights Writers Association of Nigeria, through its national coordinator Emmanuel Nwambiko, advised Jonathan not to allow greedy politicians to push him into diminishing his international reputation. Nwambiko said, Falana's legal opinion is the correct position of the law, which does not allow an individual to spend more than the required number of years in a particular office. Falana had used adequate points in law and in fact that nullified any attempt by Jonathan to try to get into any political kind of contestation as president of this country. Jonathan had already spent 5 years as president. He can't spend 9 years because it is unconstitutional. Also speaking to The Punch, another senior advocate of Nigeria, Emeka Ngige, said Falana's position was valid. Ngige said, I have not looked at the amendment to confirm what Falana said, but I believe that he may be right because there was an amendment that was done when Buhari came into power. The amendment affected the eligibility of any person who has completed the tenure of another person. That person is deemed to have done his tenure. Ngige further said that morally it was wrong for Jonathan to contest the presidency as it would only lead him to further ridicule. Attempts to get a response from Jonathan's spokesman, Ikechukwu Eze, proved abortive as his phone indicated that it was switched off. But another senior advocate, Mr. Ifidayo Adedikpe, said Jonathan was free to contest since the constitution was amended after he had left office. Adedikpe also faulted the law, adding that it will not withstand a judicial challenge. He said, constitutionally he can run, provided he can run. There's nothing stopping him from running. Responding to the controversy surrounding Jonathan's purported ambition, members of the House of Representatives warned Jonathan against accepting any offer from the presidency and the APC. The lawmakers, who are members of the opposition People's Democratic Party (PDP), said the ex-president had been too ridiculed by the current Buhari regime. Regardless of Jonathan being from the South-South geopolitical zone like them, some of the lawmakers said it was better for the ex-president to continue to enjoy goodwill. Speaking with The Punch, a member of the House from the Rivers State, Solomon Bob, stated that Jonathan would be debasing himself by accepting APC's offer. He also noted that the Electoral Act 2022 might prevent the ex-president from contesting since he is not a member of the APC. Bob said, it would be the most irresponsible and reprehensible thing for President Jonathan to contemplate it. When I watched the interview where he was saying that the people should watch out, I felt especially offended that this will show the whole world that Nigeria is not a serious country where one person can be president on the platform of the PDP today and defect to another platform tomorrow. It is reprehensible. It is morally abhorrent. It is not something that anybody can think about. Also speaking to The Punch, the convener Coalition in Defense of Nigerian Democracy, Dare Ariyo Atoye, stated that it was the Supreme Court that could determine Jonathan's eligibility. He said, the controversy raging now over the issue of eligibility of Jonathan to contest in 2023 will have to be decided by the Supreme Court. It is going to put the APC in a precarious situation because if the APC gives Jonathan the ticket and he probably becomes the president of the country, and his mandate is challenged, it will now be left for the Supreme Court to decide whether Jonathan was eligible or not.